the dominant 7th with raised 5th and lowered 5th, raised 9th and lowered 9th type chords on the 2, 3, 5, 6 string family on E flat. The related chords would be to the E flat dominant with the alterations would of course be the E minor major 7 type chord, the G major 7 sharp 5th type chord, and of course the E7 with the alterations. So if we start at even an E7, E flat 7 with a raised 5th here, we hear the resolution to A flat. So this is an E flat, B, G, and D flat. And we can, top voice can go back to an A as well. And resolving to an A flat. So E flat, B, G, and A, resolving to an A flat type chord, minor, or major, B major, F major, of course. Each one of those works as a resolution. So if we go back now to the A, it works the same way. So we have the A. If it works on E flat, it should work on A, F, D flat, or C sharp, and G. Going back to a top voice, moving to an E flat, and then resolving to an A flat minor or an A flat major is fine. Either one could work to the A flat major as well. Now, for the E minor major 7 types, we'll start here. B, E, D sharp, and G. And we can hear the resolution naturally to the A flat. Now voice exchange between the D sharp and the E, and that can change the color of the resolution a little bit. So still has that sound, but maybe affects the voice leading a little bit. Now going back to B, E, D sharp, and G. If we raise the root, we get the G major 7 with the sharp 5 here. So from this one, voice exchange, B, E, D sharp, and G. Voice exchange G and F sharp. When using that type of a chord, we have an F sharp in the middle. So we have B, F sharp, D sharp, and G. Again, resolving to A flat major or voice exchange. So now we have B, G, D sharp, and F sharp. And that can even, top voice can move backwards. And again, resolving to a C minor 11 or an A flat major. Either one is fine. Either. So this can resolve to an A flat that way, or either one is fine. So either resolution is okay there. Now going further with this, if we take this chord with the voice exchange and we raise the 3rd of the G major 7 sharp 5, we get the true E7 sharp 9 with a flat 9. D flat, G, E flat, G flat, moving to E. And that could resolve to a D. Or A flat, and minor or major, either one. Moving ahead, here is an E minor major 7. E, G, D sharp, and B. Top voice can go to an A and then resolve again to an A flat. So if we go back, now we can voice collapse here, we can exchange. So, and this would look like an E flat type chord. So E and D sharp will exchange. E flat, G, E, and B, and you can see it's rather obvious at this point that that's an E flat type chord. Resolving to a B major, resolving to a D major is fine too if we hear this. Either resolution is fine. If we raise the E to F sharp, we have a G major 7 sharp 5 And also it looks like an E7 sharp 9 if we raise the B to the D flat. So here again, E, flat, G, F sharp, and B. And the top voice can collapse to make a flat 5 sound, and then resolve. Make that resolution. Or it could go up. E flat, G, F sharp, and D flat. Resolve to an F maybe. So we can hear F minor, B major, F major, A flat minor, A flat minor again, and that's a B major, and to a D major. So they all nice resolution. Okay. Moving ahead, moving further up, there's an E minor major 7 here. E, B, G, and D sharp. The top voice can move to C sharp, like a minor 6th. It's a very common sort of sound. And if we notice from this, we can voice lead with an A major with an added 9th. So E, B, G, and D sharp going to C sharp, and maybe even the B going to C sharp and the top voice going to B. And we can resolve very nicely to the A flat. Okay, now if we move the root to the F sharp, we have a G major 7 sharp 5, which gives us F sharp, B, G, and D sharp. And we can move the top voice to C sharp as well, and then again resolve to an A flat. So that gives you G major 7 sharp 5, voice exchange, G, B, F sharp, and D sharp, and the top can go to a D flat. So G major with a flat 5, resolving to an A flat major type sound, or an A flat minor is nice too. Keeping the common tones, the D flat up top, so resolving to a minor 11 on the A flat, C flat, B flat, and D flat. So all of those are fine. Now going back to the G major 7 with the sharp 5. So any of those sort of sounds can work using the bona fide dominant 7 on the A too, as well as here. So we have the sharp 9. And we can hear it resolve rather naturally. Moving ahead then, using the same sort of procedures that we're using to resolve, if we take the G major 7 sharp, the sharp 5, and we take the 3rd and move that to D flat, we get a sharp 9 as well. So we take G, B, F sharp, and D sharp, and we move B to D sharp, we get G, D flat, G, D flat, G flat, and E flat, resolving nicely to an A flat minor chord. Now, going backwards, this is an E minor major 7, this is G, E flat, B, and E, and this resolves to an A flat minor. So we're doing the same thing that we talked about earlier with making sure that we can convert. So this E, would go to F sharp, which would be G major 7 sharp 5. resolving to an A flat minor, and also to an A flat major is fine as well, and also to a G major, excuse me, a D major for that. Going back here, G major 7 sharp 5, move the B to D flat, and there's the sharp 9. We can hear the sharp 9 sound clearly in terms of the resolution, and that's this. You can see how it can be planed. And the inner voice motion can be used fairly easily on that chord as well. And this would give you a general idea as what's possible in these sort of chord sets for this type of a harmony. So that would be the general overview of the E flat dominant 7th with a raised 9, a lowered 9, a raised 5th, and a lowered 5th on 2, 3, 5, 6 string family on E flat.